Hello everybody and welcome to Clydebridge station. Nowadays, one of the most popular ways to buy items for a model railway layout is on the internet, and one of the most popular sites that you can use is this one here, eBay. And as I say, it's very popular and I've used it myself. However, when buying any item used or new from eBay or other places, there are of course important steps to take, and what I'm going to do in this video is try and show you what those important steps are to make sure that you get the best shopping experience possible and you get the item that you want and you don't end up losing your money. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at it with the aspect of buying a locomotive for my layout, Clydebridge station, and later on you'll be able to see said loco hopefully on the layout if all goes well. The first thing to do when you're actually buying on eBay, and this could I suppose apply to other internet auction sites such as Gumtree, is have a clear thought in your mind of what sort of price you're wanting to pay and what sort of item you're actually after. Where there's an option of buy it now, don't be tempted to just go in and think that that's the only one that the person has, because they might actually have more than that. There's actually one here which says only one left, so that might suggest that it could be a shop that has an eBay account. Rails of Sheffield is an example of that, as well as actually selling items on their own website. They do have a facility here on eBay as well. However, they're not undercover about it and they make it very clear to them, and in fact I've actually used them once. When you've found something that interests you, have a look at the basic description of it. We see here one, class 47.7, but it's the body only. And below there's another one here which says MIB. That would appear to mean mint in box. So read the descriptions carefully and look how long's left on the bidding, and also look how long and look what the bids are at. Don't be assumed that is that that if you enter a bid that you'll immediately be the new highest bidder. Although that says £96 in there, the person that's the highest bidder, they may have a much higher maximum bid, say £140, so your price might well still go up. So always take that into account. Now we're going to keep going down here, and there's all sorts of various ones. This one here, I've actually got this loco on my layout, so it's not the one I might be bidding for, but it does state on there that it's in an intercity livery, Firefly, and that looks to be a trade photograph. Don't be alarmed at first if it looks to be what I might call a trade photograph or stock photograph. When you click on the actual item and go into it, look to see how many more photographs there are. If there are only a couple of photographs and they're all trade or stock photographs and they don't appear to be of the actual item, contact the seller and ask them if they can supply you with photographs on eBay of the actual item they're selling. If they say they can't, ask them why not. And if they give you a vague answer as to why not, then my advice to you is just simply walk away. Don't even put in an offer. Just ignore the offer. Ignore the item. There are plenty more locos out there. Also, be especially careful of that as well if there's if the descriptions are very vague. Again, have a look and don't be frightened to ask the seller for more photographs. But always do it through eBay. Never ever contact an eBay seller out with eBay when you're doing your things. Always do it through eBay. The reason for that is if something was to go wrong, you and you've done it out with eBay, with the eBay seller, eBay will have no responsibility. Now we see here two locomotives, one in Network South East livery, one there in GWR 150 livery, and both again are trade photographs. So we're going to now have a look at this machine, 47628 Sir Daniel Gooch. It says brand new and boxed. That's a stock photograph though. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look in, and we already see that we've got to pay £3.95 postage and packing on top of the purchase price, and it's a buy it now. But it also has on it click and collect, and that means that you can actually pick it up at certain locations. You go along with some ID and you pick it up there rather than it being delivered to your house. That's actually quite useful if you're going to be out it for some of the day and might miss the postman. So it's a good thing that. So we immediately see here that there is a photograph of the machine, but that is looks like a Bachmann stock photograph, and it says, although it's on buy it now, it says there's actually some time left on it. So it means that the seller still has got X amount of days left to sell the machine. Now we actually see here that there is actual photographs of the real item. I've actually already, before filming, had a look at this, so I know what these photos are like. That one I'm not sure about, but we see here the 2 or 3 boxes. An item location is in Derby. It says here as well, returns, 14 days refund, buyer pays return postage. Please do also remember that you will be responsible for returning the item, and you're responsible for paying for it. So seller assumes all responsibility for the listing. So I've already had a look at this before filming, but we're going to have a check now. This is a brand new unused, unopened and damaged item. Bachmann Era 8. It says control analog, modified item no, state of assembly, ready to go pre-built, and it's got a sealed detail pack, DCC ready, light function, limited edition. So we already have some details on the item there. The box is mint condition, still in tissue, comes with sealed detail package, plates and instruction, part of Bachmann sales reps, and it will be posted within a cardboard box wrapped in bubble wrap. Clydebridge is a layout set in the Scottish region in 1989. However, it was not unheard of for GWR liveried locos to actually reach Scotland. And in fact, this locomotive, I do believe, did it once, and 47500 Great Western also managed it. So what I'm going to do is, I've decided this is the locomotive I want, and I'm now going to go ahead and buy it. For obvious security reasons, I'm not prepared to actually go show you putting in my password and that. So the next bit will be done once the purchase has already been done, because I've obviously got my bank details and that, and I'm not prepared to put them on the internet just for everybody to see. So I'll stop filming and do the necessary bits, and then once the purchase is complete, I'll go through some more hints and tips for you. So that's the locomotive now purchased, and hopefully we'll, in a couple of weeks from now, we'll actually have the locomotive on the layout, albeit it won't be fitted with a DCC decoder at first. Important things to remember as well when you're purchasing off eBay is some items will be new and some items will be used, and it might not always be clear at first, so have a good read of the description. That's the first thing. Read the description carefully. Check the postage rates. See if it's click and collect, because there's various places such as Argos and branches of McCall's that you can collect your item from. If you are going to do that, make sure you choose the click and collect option, but you still have to pay the postage and packing. Also, do remember as well that some people may have more than one item for sale, but they're not actual retailers. I, for instance, in the near future will be putting some items on eBay, and I might have 2 or 3 items in one go, but I'm not a shop. So don't think it is necessarily a business that's actually selling on eBay. It could just be a general trader like myself. When you're purchasing off eBay as well, look very carefully and see what is and isn't included. There might be in cases that the locomotive does not have detailing on it and does not have a detail pack. Sometimes it will have detailing on it. So check that out very carefully. Also, when you're purchasing anything off eBay, rolling stock wise, have a read of it to see if it's DCC ready or DCC fitted, or if it's not DCC equipped. A lot of the older Hornbill locomotives and all the Lima locomotives that are on eBay will not have DCC space at all, and you'll then have to obviously hardwire everything in, which I'm told is an absolute nightmare, although there are videos out there detailing it. Finally, read through any descriptions and read through any questions that have been asked about the item. You may have a question that somebody's already asked, so always check that out as well. And as I always say, don't be frightened to ask the seller for more information. A good seller should be able to provide you with that information. Remember too that even if once you purchased it, if there is a problem, again, don't be hesitating to get in contact with the seller. This happened to me when I was actually looking for the shunter for the layout. I found one in Intercity livery, but it turned out that the description had DCC ready. In fact, it wasn't DCC ready. It was not even equipped with DCC. In fairness, the seller did contact me back and told me it was an honest, genuine mistake, and he made arrangements for me to return the item free of charge without any postage. I didn't have to pay any postage. Some cases you might have to, but the seller I dealt with in Belfast was very, very good and very honest, and was given a full refund on it. There are honest sellers out there. Please trust me. But as I've said before, if you're in any doubt whatsoever to the item that you're buying, and you are not satisfied with what you've seen, or you think, I'm not so sure if that's actually the item I'm after, or that's not the item I think it's on there, and the answers to your questions are very vague, then simply don't bother bidding for the item, don't bother making an offer, walk away. There are plenty of other brand new and used locomotives and coaching stock out there. Let me put it there in another way. You wouldn't go and buy a car if you didn't know all the details on it and you were very suspicious of it. You wouldn't go and part with £2,500 on buying a second-hand Vauxhall Corsa if you thought if you had some doubts at the back of your mind about it and you weren't satisfied about it. You would walk away. You treat buying something on eBay in the very, very same way. If you've got niggling doubts about it, do not bid. Walk away. Now, this was getting filmed on the 23rd of December 2018, but that locomotive I just bought should be on my layout in January. So I have to wait a couple of weeks for it, but by the miracle of the internet and YouTube and television production, you will only have to wait a couple of minutes to see that locomotive on my layout. And this is it now here in the blink of an eye, and we'll just zoom in so you see it. There we go. The locomotive arrived today, and today being the 5th of January 2019. I just need to explain a few things about the late delivery of the locomotive for you. Obviously, when I purchased the loco on eBay, it did state that dispatch would be between the 3rd and 7th of January. So it's now been dispatched. And I'd also got in touch with the seller, who did reply to me earlier in the week with a query about the NEM couplings, and they are supplied, and indeed they have been fitted to the locomotive, as you can just see at that end there and that end there. So the locomotive is now received, and the next plan of attack is obviously to go and put it on the test track, get it run in before it gets fitted with its DCC decoder, which will then allow it to be run on the layout. I have to apologise as well for the poor picture quality. It is a bit dark in here now because I'm filming this in the evening. So the locomotive is now here. I'll obviously get in touch with the seller to let them know that I've received the locomotive. I'll do that through eBay, and obviously know why I'm filming this as well. They're quite happy with that. So I'll just go through again the do's and don'ts of buying on eBay and the things to do and things to watch out for. Always read the description, first of all. Always look at the price. When you click in to the item itself, read through it very carefully and look at the photographs as well. If there's any queries that you have, don't be frightened to go and ask the seller. Be very cautious if there's vague information or a lack of photographs. If the seller has not put up actual photographs of the item, and it's only stock photographs or trade photographs, remember to ask them to if they can supply you with actual photos of the item, or better still, put it on the actual listing. If they say they can't, ask them why not. If you've got any doubts at all about your purchase or about the item you're looking at purchasing, do not proceed with the purchase. And lastly, and most importantly, always complete any eBay sale through eBay, because doing so means that if there is a problem and a dispute, eBay are in a position that they can assist and they can intervene. Never ever complete a purchase for an eBay item out with eBay by bankers' drafts, etc. Never ever arrange to do it via an email. You're only asking for trouble if you do it that way. Now the plan of attack, as I say with this loco, is to get it run in, get it on the test track, and then get its decoder fitted. So a later update in the future from Clydebridge station, you will eventually see this locomotive running. I hope, however, that this video has been very useful to you, and I hope that if you do use eBay for purchasing locomotives, rolling stock, or anything else for that matter, that you observe the hints and tips that I've gave you, because doing so might actually make it a much better experience for you than what it could be if you try and do it a shortcut way. Thank you very much indeed for watching, and I shall see you back on the layout at Clydebridge station very soon. Goodbye for now.